Hello everyone. So today is day 8 of the 21 days to moving towards inner peace. And Christine, this was a request of yours, is chronic pain due to chronic inflammation. So I'm reading again out of the Healing Questions Guide, and I'm going to read inflammation first, just general inflammation, since we don't really have a specific, nor do we need it right now. And there's my cat, Minnie, right there. Hi, Minta. So inflammation. What thoughts am I allowing to enrage me? I have inflammation. So it makes, it's thus why I came up with the FU tapping for inflammation. So what thoughts am I allowing to enrage me? What will it take to bring more harmony and flow into my present situation? What will it take to become more gentle and forgiving of my past mistakes? What will it take to remain still, firm, and hopeful, even though all around me appears to be so threatening? So if you think about inflammation psychosomatically, inflamed, what are we inflamed about? Like, I definitely have inflammation in my body. Is it better? Yeah, but I would say I've probably always had sort of, probably along the lines, probably chronic inflammation and it just shows up differently for me. And it's not to judge ourselves with it, to go, oh God, I'm doing something wrong because I'm inflamed. I thought about this the other day. I think I said this in the video when I was hiking, and I thought, I think my nervous system has always been in overdrive, always, right out of the gate. I was 6 months old and my family was in a car accident and they were gone. The circumstances around my mom's pregnancy with me is my sister was found to have a brain tumor, and they were facing a life and death situation of, do we operate or not? And if we don't, she's going to die, and she'll probably die if she does operate. So my entrance into the planet was inflamed with lots of stuff. My lifetime growing up in an extremely devout Catholic family in a very punitive, punishing Catholic school. I went to Catholic school all the way through my senior year in high school. So when you think about your life that way and what you've been through, it starts to make sense. You start to go, God, no wonder there's probably been inflammation for me. Like my nervous system, I'm sure, has realistically probably always been in overdrive. So just, again, not to use this to punish ourselves, because Lord knows we do enough of that. It's to bring more awareness and compassion and care to ourselves. So here's pain out of the book. What will it take for me to stop punishing myself? What will it take for me to clean up the mess I have made and get my life back on track? I read this one the other day, and I don't particularly like that statement. What will it take for me to clean up the mess I've made and get my life back on track? I find that very judgy and very punitive. So it needs to be shifted. What will it take for me to make course correct here? And what will it take for me to feel safe course correcting, to making incremental changes in my life? What will it take for that to happen? Instead of, there's so much punitiveness that we've all learned to heap on ourselves all the time. So that one, like I said, don't care for it. I know I read this the other day. What can I do to be in a more healthy relationship? And that doesn't have to be your significant other. That can be any relationship you have. And again, it doesn't mean any or all of these apply. What am I currently resenting about my life that if I let it go, I would be experiencing more joy, happiness, and direction? So if we're living in chronic pain, think about that, chronic pain. What a thing to carry around, living in chronic pain. It's like, how do you deal with that? How do you make sense of that? How do you find some peace with that? And to me, it's going into the pain. So let's just tap on chronic pain. And this doesn't have to be physical pain. It can be emotional pain, and they're often very tied together. What have I been in emotional inflammation or pain about forever? What am I inflamed about? Who am I inflamed at? And I'm going to add this: if you're a woman in this culture, it's very likely there's a lot of that's stuffed down, because our culture doesn't embrace women allowing themselves their truth in the form of anger or enragement, allowing, you're just a bitch if you get enraged, instead of like, no, I'm freaking enraged and it's okay. And then on the contrary, for men, it's sadness. Like as a man taught to be like, oh, just embrace your sadness. Go ahead and sob, let yourself cry, it's stiff upper lip, be a big boy, that kind of thing. I saw a show and I was really like, and I know the parents well-meaning, but it was a young boy that was part of the rodeo circuit. I mean, his family was. And the mom was like, where's my big tough cowboy? When he was young, like 5, 6, where's my big tough cowboy? I know she's trying to comfort him in the way she was taught how, but that's such a disservice that we do. Where's my big tough cowboy? It immediately cuts off access to him allowing himself to feel sad. So what do you feel inflamed about? Who are you inflamed at? Who are you mad at? Who's been a chronic pain to you? Who's caused you chronic pain? Who do you feel chronic pain about? So call those things to mind. Karate chop. Even though inner peace, what a joke. Feels like a joke to me. I choose to acknowledge I feel this way now. Even though the idea of having inner peace, please. I deeply and profoundly accept myself now. Even though I like the idea of inner peace, I'm lucky if I find moments of peace. And what if that's okay? I'm not in a competition for inner peace. Even though the culture I live in might love for me to compete for inner peace. I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Go to the eyebrow. This chronic pain, this chronic inflammation. Who am I still angry or upset with? What circumstance or situation have I not allowed myself to find resolve for? What might I still be punishing myself for? Blaming myself, making myself wrong. And what if I can just start to take note of this? Just add some mindfulness to this. To start to be aware of it. And what if that feels like conscious suffering? Are you kidding me? Now you're asking me to be mindful of my pain? I've been trying to overcome it or run away from it for a long time. But what if mindfulness of my pain is a healing step? What if by adding mindfulness, I do become really aware of my habits of thinking around the inflammation in my body and around my pain? And what if that can feel like conscious suffering because I'm so aware of it? But what if that's actually a step on the healing journey? Is conscious suffering. It's a phase that I go through. And what if the more I'm mindful about this, the more acceptance and compassion I can start to send to myself? And what if that's a really good thing? And what if it makes a big difference over time? And what if it really helps me heal? I kind of like that idea a lot. That I could actually start to heal by bringing conscious suffering into the picture. Because it won't last. It just means that I'm now really conscious of my thought patterns. I can't unsee them now. And what if the more awareness and mindfulness I bring to them, the more I realize I want to let them go? And what if a way appears for me to let them go? Those thought patterns that have held me back and had me suffering. And what if through this mindfulness, it actually starts to be easy to let go more, to allow in more goodness, and through acceptance and compassion, I learn to love and honor myself. And what if that makes a big difference in my state of being? And I find some peace. And then even more over time. So take a breath. So I hope you found that helpful. And if you did, tap on it as many times as you need to. And thank you so much, Christine, for the topic. And we'll see you back here tomorrow with day 9. All right, take care. Bye for now.